The movie starts in a mysterious world filled with mysterious creatures known as Pokémons. These creatures possess unique powers and attributes that distinguish them from one another. Once a Pokémon is captured, it forms a bond with its human trainers, becoming friends, partners, or even like family. Together, they unite as a team. There are still hundreds of unseen Pokémon waiting to be discovered, even though many have already been found. It's possible that not only Pokémon trainers, but also the Pokémon themselves, have a natural curiosity for new species within this world and even beyond. After all, they might reside on a Pokémon planet, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the only one. Professor Lund and his team, along with his assistant Yuko and his son Tory, have journeyed to the Arctic to collect information about Pokémon and their natural environment. Tory, against the rules, has secretly disembarked from the boat to have a playful encounter with a group of untamed Spiels that unexpectedly emerged with their herd. Meanwhile, a mysterious meteorite is approaching Earth, hurtling through the atmosphere. As it nears, it narrowly misses colliding with the legendary Pokémon known as Rayquaza, who is revered as a guardian of the skies residing within the ozone layer. The meteorite eventually crashes into a polar region, striking the vast Arctic landmass and startling a multitude of Pokémons gathered there. Later on, Tory experiences a distressing event when he gets frightened by a stampede of Spiels, Celio, and Walrein. Professor Lund and Yuko swiftly rescue Tory and reunite with their team. However, their situation takes a dramatic turn when a Pokémon from outer space, later named Deoxys by Professor Lund, emerges from the crash site of the meteor. Deoxys discovers a mysterious green egg within the meteor and takes hold of it. A fierce battle unfolds as Rayquaza descends from the ozone layer, perceiving Deoxys as a potential adversary that threatens its territory. Rayquaza believes the extraterrestrial Pokémon to be a menace and engages in the confrontation. Rayquaza unleashed a powerful strike, causing significant damage to Deoxys by obliterating one of its arms. However, Deoxys swiftly regenerated the lost limb. In response, Deoxys counterattacked with a devastating Psycho Boost, sending Rayquaza tumbling to the ground. The intense battle continued, and Rayquaza found itself buried under the equipment of the research team, impeding Deoxys from delivering a final blow. The electrical interference disrupted Deoxys' vision, further complicating the situation. The intense conflict transformed the entire research site into a fierce battleground. Eventually, the battle reached its climax when Rayquaza surprised Deoxys by launching a point-blank hyper beam attack as the latter emerged from the water. Deoxys' body was destroyed, leaving behind a purple crystal embedded in its chest before plunging into the sea. With the battle concluded, Rayquaza returned to the ozone layer, while Professor Lund and his team made their way back to Hoenn, bringing along the green crystal left behind by Deoxys. They continued their extensive research on the crystal for several years. However, despite their efforts, the laser used for the regeneration experiment eventually burned out, rendering them unable to complete the test. The research remains on hold until Yuko successfully repairs the equipment. During the team's break, Yuko notices the green crystal glowing, as if beckoning to someone. In the Arctic, the purple crystal has fully regenerated, and Deoxys has regained its physical form. Meanwhile, Pokémon trainer Ash Ketchum, accompanied by his faithful partner Pikachu, continues his global journey with the ambition of becoming the greatest Pokémon master. Alongside him are Brock Harrison, who aspires to excel as a Pokémon breeder, May Birch, who dreams of winning grand festivals and becoming a top coordinator, and the composed Max Birch, who aims to become a skilled Pokémon trainer. Ash and his companions have reached LaRousse City, known as Hoenn's most technologically advanced city. Upon their arrival, they are warmly welcomed by the chief security robot. They are provided with special passports that serve as identification, granting them access to shops and buildings within the city. Eager to make their way to the battle tower, Ash ends up being misdirected when he unintentionally steps onto a moving walkway. Fortunately, Rafe, another Pokémon trainer, and his Blaziken come to Ash's aid, guiding him in the correct direction while teasing him good-naturedly. During their time at the battle tower, Ash and his friends encounter Rafe's twin sisters, Audrey and Catherine, as well as fellow Pokémon trainers Sid and Rebecca, who are also participating in the competition. While Ash is in the process of registering for the battle tower, he mistakenly assumes Tory Lund to be a Pokémon trainer. Tory, reluctantly dragged into the situation, becomes Ash's tag team partner in a battle against Rafe and Sid. Their respective Pokémon, Blaziken and Blastoise, face off. However, Tory reveals that he doesn't have his own Pokémon, prompting Ash to lend him his Torkoal. Ash, in turn, uses Pikachu for the battle. Although Ash and Pikachu put up a good fight, they struggle against the well-coordinated teamwork of Rafe and Sid. Tory's lack of experience in handling Ash's Torkoal becomes a disadvantage, leading to their defeat in the battle. Professor Lund and assistant Yuko make their way to meet Tory, believing that he has overcome his fear of Pokémon since he participated in the battle tower. Later, Ash and the rest of the group learn from Yuko about the traumatic experience Tory had in the past. Ash volunteers to help Tory conquer his fear. However, Tory feels embarrassed and runs away after the incident. While wandering, he encounters a mischievous wild Pokémon and accidentally gets trapped in a trash can while playing with it and a Plusle. After Tory manages to free it, Min and Plusle try to approach him to express their gratitude, but Tory, as usual, flees at the sight of Pokémons. In an effort to assist Tory in overcoming his fear, Ash follows him. However, in an accidental push, Tory further distances himself. Brock intervenes to calm Ash down and invites Tory to join May and Max for a meal at the park. While there, a group of wild Pokémons in the nearby forest gathers around them, enticed by the aroma of delicious food. Brock hopes that Tory will overcome his fear as he gets the chance to interact with Pokémons while enticing them with food. However, Tory once again runs away, unable to face his fear. Later that night, Tory surprises everyone by bringing Pokémon biscuits, leading Ash and the others to release their Pokémons for a joyful gathering at the park. Grateful for the wonderful time spent with friends, Tory extends an invitation to visit the Biodome Garden, where he introduces a luminous green cluster that he claims is his friend. Excitedly, everyone brings out their Pokémons to acquaint them with one another. However, their merriment is interrupted when the town's security system detects Rayquaza heading towards LaRousse City. Yuko speculates that Rayquaza's arrival is in response to Deoxys returning and reaching the city. In light of the situation, Professor Lund contacts Officer Jenny and suggests evacuating the entire city, concerned that it could become a battlefield. As the evacuation process begins, Professor Lund ventures towards the garden to retrieve Tory but gets caught up in the chaos when a sidewalk unexpectedly activates. It is revealed that Deoxys possesses the ability to manipulate electrical devices, which explains the intermittent failures and shutdowns in certain areas of the city. While crossing the Blockbot Bridge, Professor Lund accidentally falls into the water, but Officer Jenny comes to his rescue just in time. In response to Rayquaza's proximity, Deoxys creates multiple copies of itself and begins capturing both people and Pokémons in the city. Realizing that Rayquaza poses a threat, Deoxys surrounds the entire city with an impenetrable force field, cutting off the power supply. As Deoxys buys itself more time, Rayquaza relentlessly attempts to break through the barrier. Finally, Ash and the others manage to escape from the Biodome Garden by manually prying open the doors in the absence of any power. However, Deoxys clones suddenly appear, trying to capture them. Sid and Blastoise get captured, prompting Ash and the rest to defend themselves against the clones. They come across Yuko and, together, they seek refuge in a secure lab, away from the clutches of the Deoxys clones. Later that night, Ash and the group split into teams. One team is tasked with securing food and water, while the other investigates the whereabouts of the captured people and Pokémons. Ash, Brock, and Tory stumble upon a hot dog stand but are unable to obtain any food due to the lack of power. However, Pikachu suggests using a Thunderbolt attack to power up the stand. Although the plan succeeds, the Deoxys clones reappear and try to capture them. Plusle and Minun, whom Tory had saved earlier, come to his rescue, but unfortunately, Minun ends up being captured in the process. While taking shelter in one of the buildings, Brock manages to find some water and brings it back to the group along with the food they secured. At the same time, Rafe and Rebecca discover the location where everyone else is being held captive, inside a nearby prison dome. Once the group regroups and shares the gathered information, the Deoxys clones attempt to break into the lab where they are hiding. In response, Yuko leads them to an underground lab where they can find safety. Yuko explains that this is the place where they have been studying the other trapped Deoxys, which exist in the form of crystals. Ash and the others realize that the cluster of green lights that Tory had referred to as his friend earlier is actually one of these Deoxys. After examining the information provided by Rebecca, she concluded that the signal of the green glow represented an ally, while the violet glow conveyed a message of "Where are you?" implying that Deoxys was constantly searching for the green crystal. Upon understanding the circumstances, Tory persuades Yuko to assist in the regeneration of the green crystal for Deoxys, with the intention of reuniting it with the Deoxys outside. To generate enough power for the laser, they plan to reactivate the wind turbines with the help of captured Pokémon. Ash and the others head into the city to carry out their plan, but they are intercepted by Deoxys and its clones. Rafe and Blaziken stay behind to buy time for the rest of the group to escape but are eventually captured and taken to the prison dome. Rayquaza manages to break through the barrier and confronts Deoxys. With the distraction caused by Rayquaza, Ash and the others have an opportunity to carry out their plans. Assisted by Rafe from within, Ash and Tory supported the escape of the remaining individuals, while Brock, May, Max, Rebecca, Audrey, and Catherine made their way towards the wind turbines to activate them. They received assistance from all the Pokémon they had captured. Ash and Tory later returned to the laboratory, where Yuko confirmed the restoration of power. However, upon attempting to utilize the laser, they discovered that its capacity was insufficient to activate the lasers. To overcome this challenge, Pikachu, Plusle, and Minon directed a thunderbolt attack directly at the laboratory's generator, supplying the necessary power to fully regenerate the green crystal into a physical embodiment of another Deoxys. Grateful for their assistance, the new Deoxys helps Ash and Tory and joins the fight against Rayquaza. However, Rayquaza continues to attack, and the situation becomes dire. When Rayquaza caught it off guard, it hurled the violet Deoxys body to the ground, causing the protective barrier surrounding the city to collapse. Enraged, it pounced on Rayquaza and forced it to the ground, preparing to launch a close-range Psycho Boost attack. Just as it was about to strike, the Emerald Deoxys appeared and deflected the attack, saving Rayquaza from harm. The Deoxys were finally reunited, and it seemed like everything was calm. However, to their surprise, Rayquaza emerged from the wreckage and continued its assault on the Deoxys. With the barrier no longer active, the security bots resumed their operation, evacuating everyone from the area. The Deoxys directed Rayquaza towards the power station, inadvertently triggering an electromagnetic pulse that sent the security robots into overdrive. Professor Lund came back to the city with Officer Jenny, while Plusle, Min, and Tory were found. When the malfunctioning security blockade bots go haywire, they overrun and inundate the entire town, including a weakened Rayquaza. The Deoxys attempted to assist by erecting a protective shield around themselves, but they were soon engulfed by the immense swarm of blockade bots that had taken over the entire city. Professor Lund establishes communication with Tory through the large display and notifies him of the urgent task at hand. They must locate the central security robot, which commands all the other blockade bots, and utilize its authorization to grant Officer Jenny the necessary time to deactivate the entire security system. Ash is resolute in aiding Tory in rescuing the city before it falls into chaos. Like riding a surge, Ash and Tory employ a hot dog stand as a means to reach the tower and ascend on top of the primary security robot, deftly leaping through obstacles. Just as Ash was about to employ his authorization, a fumble occurred, causing his passport to slip from his grasp and plummet. Tory swiftly threw his own passport towards Ash, yet it fell short of its mark. Sensing the urgency, Pikachu sprang into action, employing its tail to retrieve the passport and deliver it to Ash. Plunging into the tumultuous swarm of blockbots, Ash activated Tory's passport on the chief security robot, causing the security system to disengage, thus halting the movement of the blockbots. In the midst of the commotion, Plusle and Min encountered a predicament, prompting Tory to dive to their rescue, ultimately overcoming his fear of Pokémon. Just as Tory found himself hurtling towards certain doom, Deoxys emerged, employing its psychic powers to save both Tory and Ash. Having witnessed their combined efforts to shield it from the encroaching security blockbots, Rayquaza finally embraced the presence of the Deoxys, and Rayquaza returned to its rightful place in the ozone layer. Meanwhile, Ash and Pikachu joyfully reunited with their companions, and Tory was happily reunited with his father. The Deoxys soar into the sky and come back to their rightful place side by side. Following a challenging encounter in LaRousse City, Ash and his companions made their way back to their respective hometowns, saying their goodbyes to one another. Ash and his group carry on their exploration of Hoenn, embarking on fresh escapades with the goal of achieving the ultimate title of Pokémon Champion. The end. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.